In these problems, we have some linear equations, so equations of lines, that are in what we call standard form, where the x and the y term are on the left-hand side of the equation and the numbers are on the right. And there are a couple of ways you can go about this. I find it easiest just to rearrange this equation until it looks like it's in y equals mx plus b form. In this first one, all I would have to do is subtract 3x from both sides, and I would get y equals negative 3x plus 9. Now that is in the slope-intercept form. So your slope of the line is this coefficient of x, and the intercept is a positive 9. So I would look for a pretty steeply down-slanting slope, because the slope is a negative 3, and then it crosses the y-intercept at a positive 9. And let's see, the only one where that is the case would be D. Now, another way you can think about this, if you're trying to find the slope and the intercept's already figured out for you over here, unless there's some coefficient in front of y. The slope you can figure out by taking a negative coefficient of x and dividing it by y. So in this case, I would take negative 3 divided by 1, and that would give me negative 3. If the y has a coefficient on it, you would have to divide the intercept by that, too, to find the intercept value. Either way you want to do it. It amounts to the same thing. Let's try one more here. Here we have 3x minus y equals 6. So if I were going to figure out the slope here without rearranging the equation, I would take a negative of the x coefficient, so negative 3, and divide it by the y coefficient, negative 3 divided by negative 1, because there's a minus in front of the y. So that would be a positive 3 for the slope. And then the intercept, I have to divide that by the y coefficient, so 6 divided by negative 1 equals negative 6. So it's going to be a slope of positive 3 and intersecting the y-axis at negative 6. The other way to do that is just simply rearrange the equation. So I would start by subtracting 3x from both sides. I would get negative y equals negative 3x plus 6. And then because I've got a negative in front of the y, I would divide everything by, negative 1. Just change all the signs. Y equals 3x minus 6 amounts to the same thing. Slope of positive 3, y-intercept of negative 6. And let's see, what have we got here? Looks like A is going to be our correct answer there. So that's a little bit of work with graphing linear equations that are in standard form.